Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and this evening I'm joined by
Mark.
Matt. Steve.
And we've just finished playing Flee, which is from Friedemann. Friese. This is one of his fast-forward games, and Steve's going to explain how to play.
So this is one of the three, and in this game you go into the game not knowing the rules. So basically you have a deck of cards, which it tells you effectively what to do. So this is the top card of the draw game. Pick someone to read the back of this, and it gives you some general rules. So the very first thing, I'm only going to show you like the very first few cards of the game that you will see when you pick it up anyway. But it tells you to distribute the player cards. You've got Lewis. These are all characters from Alice in Wonderland, who gets this card. You get Tweedledum, who gets the future card. You get Alice, who gets the skip card. And the Mad Hatter starts with the monster. And Lewis is going to start the game. But the main rule of the game, the monster card says, if you have the monster at the start of your turn, you lose. And it's a cooperative game. So basically, if it gets to the point where it's the Mad Hatter's go, we are going to lose the game unless we do something about it. So on Lewis's go, the mechanics of this game are you play a card from your play area. You only have one. So Lewis will play this. It says for you, it says reveal the topmost card of the draw deck and give it to someone else. So this card does something different. He might decide to give it to, or he's going to give it to Mark. Okay, then Mark would have a go and Matt would have a go, but the way the starting setup goes, in the very first game you play, Matt has this skip card. So when Matt was going to play the skip card, it would skip the next pursued carrier, that's us four, we have the pursued characters, and it would skip me out, which means I don't have my go, which means it's back to Jonathan's go. At the end of Jonathan's turn, he will draw a card from the draw deck, but at various points in this draw deck, there will be interrupts. So basically, I've put one here, it isn't actually the next card in the deck, but you get this, you read the text on the back of the cards, and it changes the rules of the game. I can't tell you much more than that, because it is a game that you kind of... It's slightly like a moderate legacy game, effectively. The rules you play with and the things you get and the cards you get to play with change the deeper in the deck you go. If you ever fail, you, in some way or other, you take the cards you failed with, you put them back on top and you try again, but the cards will be in a different order.
Okay, what do we think?
I think it's a nice idea. I think the more than person say this. There's a lot of card text, and because every card, I'll say, most cards are different. So I think as an idea of as a learning game together, that's fine. Matt and Steve players have beaten this previously, so essentially I could have just not been here, which is fine. It makes sense because they know that the logic, they know that to split the deck. It's just the nature of the game. But yeah, it's just the way it works out, and it's an all right puzzle. It didn't catch me, if that's a fair way of putting it.
Okay, Matt?
Yeah, like Mark said, it's an interesting idea. It does suffer from the potential problem that if you're three new people and you're playing with me or Steve, we could alpha game it and go, okay, the best thing for you to do right now is play that card, take this card from me and move it over here, and you can sit there going, and it doesn't matter. We'll just keep playing and tell you how to do it, and you can just sit there going, I'm not really doing anything here. You're playing the game and I'm a placeholder, effectively. So there's a danger of that happening. And so, yeah, you should try to avoid that and let the player whose turn it is make their own decisions. Maybe give them a bit of helpful advice, but don't play the game for them. You can play it as a single-player game. So if you want to play that game, just don't bother having the other three people around the table and just solo it. And it's a fun puzzle. You could probably figure out how to do it in one run. And there's probably some fun in working out how to do that. And I don't know how good your memory is, whether you could remember how to do that, and then you wouldn't really be able to play it again because you'll know how to do it in one run. But the way it works is if you play it in a different way each time, then your second run through is going to be different each time because of the order of the cards that you've played. So it's got replayability, maybe not infinite replayability, but it's certainly, I've beaten it, Steve's beaten it before, and we're replaying it, and these games are different to the previous ones we had. So, yeah, it's interesting, but it's got potential downfalls.
Okay, Steve?
The first game I played, where none of us had played before, was really good. We we struggle. There's some twists you get through to the deck that you really enjoy when you get to them. The decisions you have, not knowing what cards are going to come up the first time you play through is great. I think you should play this with a group of people who've never played before, because I think probably Matt and I have overdone our assistance in this game that we've played. So that's fine. I don't know why it has an Alice in Wonderland theme to it either, but it's fine. I have played all 3 fast forward games now: Flee, Fortress and Fear, and this is by far the best, although having said that, it does have its problems.
Rating?
6.5.
Okay. Matt?
I would give it 5 out of 10, I think.
Okay.
I'd give it a 5.
All right. Yeah, I think they summarised it well. It's an interesting idea, and I do like the development. As you go through the game, new kinds of cards come out, and you get options that you didn't have before, and that's quite nice, that sense of discovery. But we've played this, I don't know, 4 or 5 times or something, trying to beat this game. And each time you kind of get a bit better, because it saves some of your progress. You sort of get some cards out that help you, which you get to keep from game to game. So you feel like you're gradually getting better, but it is very much a case of, when I was playing, I was like, what does this card do again? And half the time, Matt and Steve were having to make decisions, because there's just so much text. You've got to take into account everybody's cards, what they all do, what's the best order for playing things. So as they say, playing it with a group of people who've never played it before, I think is a very much a good idea. I can't say I really enjoyed it that much, because I felt like I was sitting around not taking part a lot of the time. I don't think that's my fault, but it's one of those games, it's going to be difficult. You really want to play it with the same group over and over. So I think I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was alright, but certainly an interesting idea. Alright, thanks for watching. That was Flee.